A cruise around the world. It is the dream of many people. The following men were the first Japanese to do so. Zenroku was a sailor. On that day, he was sailing to Edo, now Tokyo. There were 16 people on board, including Zenroku. The voyage was smooth at first, but on the way, the ship encountered a storm. The ship was caught in violent storm and rudder was gone. The ship lost control and began to drift. After 7 months of drifting, they washed up on an island. The locals rescued them, but one of the 16 died. They lived on the island for about a year. Then Zenroku and his friends decided to go to Russia with Russians. Zenroku and his friends arrived in Irkutsk. To their surprise, there was a Japanese person there. He was Shinzo. Shinzo was also a castaway. He had been baptized into the Russian Orthodox Church and taught Japanese in Russia. The 3 of them, including Zenroku, were to be cared for at Shinzo's house for a while. Shinzo admired Zenroku very much. Zenroku was smart and excelled in reading and writing. Shinzo encouraged Zenroku to become a Russian citizen and introduced him to some influential local people. Zenroku decided to live permanently in Russia and was baptized. Among the 14 surviving castaways, 4 were baptized and became Russians. The remaining 10 were not baptized. These 2 groups would later come into conflict. Zenroku and the other 4 who were baptized were given positions as Japanese language teachers. They were well paid by the Russian government. The group that was not baptized managed to survive by doing manual labor. They were angry at the baptized group for abandoning Japan. However, Shinzo got along well with the 2 groups. He was an adult. One day, Zenroku and others were summoned to the government office. There, they met a messenger with a written order from the Russian emperor. The order was to go to the capital tomorrow with the messenger. The matter was so urgent that they were troubled, but the emperor's order left them no choice. They departed for Petersburg in 7 carriages. Russia is a vast country. The carriages traveled at high speed. Because of this, 2 of them got motion sickness. One of them was taken to a local hospital because of illness. The group met the emperor in Petersburg and received a warm reception. Who wants to go home? When the emperor asked this question, 4 of the 10 members of the group raised their hands. The emperor allowed them to board the next ship. The baptized group, including Zenroku, of course didn't raise their hands. So the 4 were allowed to return home. It was also decided that Zenroku would join the ship to Japan as an interpreter. The ship departed from a nearby port with Shinzo seeing them off. On the ship, Zenroku and the non-baptized were on very difficult terms. As a result, Zenroku felt lonely all the time. The ship passed through the Strait of Dover, resupplied at the Canary Islands, and crossed the Atlantic Ocean. While anchored in Brazil, someone got a monkey. The monkey took to Zenroku well. It became Zenroku's only companion. However, the monkey bit a sailor and was killed. Zenroku became even more depressed. Perhaps because of this, the conflict between Zenroku and the non-baptized group worsened. Via Hawaii, the ship arrived in Petropavlovsk, a city on the eastern tip of Russia. It had been about a year since the ship had departed. In fact, the captain felt that Zenroku was not a good fellow, because he could not get along with the non-baptized group. Therefore, Zenroku was dismissed from the ship at this point. After that, The ship departed for Japan as scheduled. The 4 members of the non-baptized group returned home safely for the first time in about 10 years. They were the first Japanese to travel around the world. Zenroku stayed in Petropavlovsk for about 3 years before returning to Irkutsk. By that time, Zenroku had also traveled around the world. Considering that this was more than 100 years before World War I, it was a great adventure. Even today, there are probably not so many people who have traveled around the world by ship and land. Zenroku later accompanied missions to Japan and served as an interpreter. He spent years in Irkutsk and was well paid for his many services. According to records, he died in Irkutsk in 1816. He was a strong survivor who embraced a different culture in his drifting place. And did he ever feel nostalgia for his homeland? There are many things I'd like to ask him. There were several other Japanese who drifted to Russia during this period. I will introduce them again when I have a chance. Thank you for watching to the end. I'd be very happy if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.